What's something incredibly stupid that you believed as a child? Cats were female, dogs were male. My 50-year-old sister-in-law refers to all dogs as he and all cats as she. My mom refers to all animals as she. A dog with the biggest coin purse will still be a she in her eyes. I try not to, but I still do. Is she probably German? Because in German it's der Hund, maskulin the dog, and die Katze, feminine the cat. I used to believe that cats were female and dogs were male too. It took me way too long to realize that my gender-confused pets weren't trying to start a revolution. If you waved at a helicopter, it'd throw down a rope ladder and refuse to leave until you climbed up. I used to make a conscious effort to keep my arms completely straight by my sides in case the pilot misinterpreted me scratching my nose or something. You refused to show up for duty, shameful. That reminds me of how I was always nervous that a taxi would show up if I waved near a road. Yours reminded me that I was always afraid of turning my bedroom light on and off too fast at night. I thought I was signaling to aliens by accident. Actually, now that I think about it, it still scares me to wonder if they can see our lights going on and off. Thought that the music on the radio was played by live bands at the radio station. Similar vein, I thought people on TV died early. My mom loved the movie Stepmom with Susan Sarandon, and of course it's hinted that she dies in the end. Lo and behold, imagine my surprise when I saw her in a different movie sometime later. Lamau. I did that for a little bit. But the thing that brings me shame to this day is that I thought that movies that had a character shown as being both young and old meant they had to wait for the actor to finish growing up for them to finish the film. I thought this. I was always amazed by it. I used to think that my refrigerator was constantly throwing parties with all the food inside, given how lively the tunes were every time I opened the door. Hello. Ever believed something ridiculously dumb as a kid? I bet you did. Subscribe and drop your hilarious childhood misconceptions in the comments below. Let's have a good laugh together. That my aunt was away at fat camp when she was serving a several-month sentence in county jail. The next time I saw her she was much thinner, so I didn't think twice about it. Your family is both bogus and hilarious for this. NGL. While fat camps for kids are cruel, as an adult I'd love to go to one just for grown-ups. You'd just be fed healthy food, get to exercise out in the woods for a summer, trimming up your physique, a smattering of art/crafts, and stupidly catchy campfire songs mixed in. People actually get rich making these happen. I'd love this. I used to think my dad's business trips were him attending a secret spy convention, but it turns out he was just really good at napping in hotel rooms. If I ate a seed, it would grow inside me and I'd die. Yup. Ate a watermelon seed when we had a babysitter. Went to bed, freaked out, started screaming and crying. God love the babysitter, she earned her money that night. Made her work hard that night. Lamau. If I accidentally swallowed a watermelon seed, I legit thought a full-grown vine would sprout in my stomach and I'd become a walking watermelon patch. Each new day began at 7 a.m. Why I thought this, I do not know. But, despite being allowed to stay up to watch the ball drop and bring in the new year, I was convinced the date didn't change until 7 a.m. each morning. Someone was an ambitious child. If you worked in linear television, then the day actually does begin at 6 a.m. and goes until 6 a.m. the next day. I was 4. Pretty sure I wasn't working anywhere. LOL. A new family with a kid my age, 7 or 8, moved in next door. They were from Alabama. So I introduced her to all my friends. One day she pipes up and starts telling us that back in Alabama, everybody has a whale in their backyard. We're like, a what? A real whale, with water and everything. We told her, show us a pic of your whale. Now we're expecting to see Shamu in a big tank in her backyard, like at SeaWorld. It was a well, a fucking well. Alabamians talk funny. We were so disappointed. Ha ha ha, this is my fave. So cute. This is phenomenal. Everybody in Alabama has a well in their backyard? That having the dome light on in the car while driving was illegal. I read somewhere it's not illegal, but an overzealous cop could assume it is distracted driving, which is illegal. Either way, my dad placed it on par with murder in terms of illegality. Pretty much goes to show that anything is illegal if you look long enough. Plus the cop can give you tickets or even arrest you for things that aren't illegal, and they're not required, seemingly not even encouraged, to know the law. Considering how many adults think the dome light is illegal, it's still better off. I once believed that if I didn't finish my homework, my backpack would grow wheels and chase me down the street, shouting, "Incomplete assignments detected." That elderberries were old berries. Lol. My little guy once asked me if boysenberries had boys in them. I asked my mom how come there weren't any girlsenberries. I also wanted to know why there was Summer's Eve but no Summer's Atom, why there was an atom bomb but no Eve bomb, and why I didn't have an Eve's apple. Yes, I legitimately thought it was called an atom bomb, not an atom bomb. I thought they were called poison berries and wondered why anyone would want them in a pie. As a kid, I genuinely thought that raisins were just grapes that had given up on their dreams of becoming wine. My dad convinced us kids that he could control the stoplights. He did it with a straight face for years. My mom would have us blow on the light when it had been red too long, lol. Corinna. Yes. Love that movie. When TV remotes first became available, my aunt had never seen one yet. My dad kept the remote hidden and told her you had to command the TV verbally, then he'd turn the TV off or on or adjust volume or channel. She tried to tell the TV to turn on for like 10 minutes. I used to think that my mom had some sort of telekinetic power that made all the vegetables on my plate magically disappear into thin air. That my parents' waterbed had an octopus living inside that my mom had to feed in secret. It kept the bed stable when they were lying on it and kept the water warm. Man, I had a weird childhood. I'm here for the Cthulhu-style sleeping arrangements. 8-point massage at the end of the day. I bragged about it to my friends for years. I used to think that if I didn't eat all my vegetables, a group of undercover broccoli agents would show up at my doorstep and stage a coup against my dessert. I have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed friend whose childhood dream was to grow up and be a black gospel singer. She didn't understand how race worked until she was like 6 or 7. To be fair, I remember being 4 or 5 and thinking my dad was a minority because the rest of my family is pasty white and he's a distance runner with a dark tan. I put 2 and 2 together before anyone caught my mistake though. When I was expecting my 3rd child, my oldest son, 4 years old at the time, asked if we could have the baby be black this time. He was so precious at that age. That's so cute. D. Well, he was late for the 3rd, but you could try to make his wish come true for the 4th. Adults know everything. Adults never do anything wrong. In addition to that, I believe teachers held the same authority as cops. Oops. I figured this one out once I became what is commonly known as an adult. I certainly do not feel like an adult. That rice was actually potatoes cut into small pieces. When my kid was younger, they used to refer to hard-boiled egg yolk as cheese. I thought it was cute and never corrected them. Then one day I found out they actually thought cheese was made out of egg yolk. Didn't believe me it was milk, and honestly got kind of angry with me at the correction. My kids refer to it as we. They know it's just part of the egg and safe to eat, they just don't like it and call it we. Ha! Funny, my kid doesn't like it either. But likes cheese. I think the yolk is the best, but I used to think that if I ate enough rice, I could turn into a giant potato. Thank goodness I realized that spuds are more than just a carb disguise. That you died of old age. I now know that even if you're 100 years old, it has to be something that gets you, or more likely a combination of factors. But I thought that you just get old and that's it, you're done. Because you're old. Maybe that's not incredibly stupid, but I believed it for quite a while. Edit. Oh, I also believed we could use up all the air on Earth since the population was growing but the Earth stayed the same size. So I tried not to breathe too hard so everyone would have enough. In case you're wondering, yes, I have anxiety. When I ask patients their family medical history, I'll have older patients in their 70s or whatever, and I'll ask them how their parent died. A lot just seem confused and say old age. Old age is what you often call it when an elderly person dies of multiple organ failure as their aging organs can't keep working anymore. So you're telling me, dying from old age isn't a thing?